Hello. Today we're going to be talking about the French Revolution and America's foreign policy about it. Now, the president at the time, George Washington, had many conflicting ideas about what to do, but he eventually decided on the Proclamation of Neutrality in 1793. Now, there were many people that opposed it and many people that supported it. And eventually, what ended up happening was a 2-year debate between James Madison and Alexander Hamilton called the Pacificus Helvetius debates. Hamilton supported the neutrality and Madison countered that. Now, something to take away from this debate is how ambivalent the Constitution actually was and how there are many interpretations of the government and it's still being questioned today. From this debate is how ambivalent the Constitution actually was and how there are many interpretations of the government and it's still being questioned today. In this debate, there were many essays written on it, but the one that we're going to be examining today is Pacificus number 1, and that is the first essay in the debate by Hamilton. Now, he focuses a lot on the definition of neutrality, and this is what he said. Number 1, that the proclamation was without authority. Number 2, that it was contrary to our treaties with France. Number 3, that it was contrary to the gratitude. Now, it is important to understand that the Proclamation of Neutrality was not actually contrary to our treaties. What I mean by this is that the US and France had a defensive alliance with each other. But since France were the ones that declared war in the first place on Britain, this would be considered an offensive war. So this does not actually breach our treaties. So this would discredit that objection by many of the people. Now, another objection is that it was contrary to our gratitude. Now, as you know, France helped us with the American Revolution, and to that we owe their gratitude. Washington understood that maintaining the U.S.'s preservation of peace was far more important than entering a war at the time. And Hamilton brings this up a lot in his essay, and he understands and supports Washington's decision for neutrality. And in my opinion, this is very smart by Washington because it all kind of relates back to financial debt. Now, it's true that it's safe to say that the financial debt needed to be refunded and rationalized at the time. So the U.S. could not afford their time or their money to enter another war. And these are just examples that Hamilton brings up to show his support of Washington. But overall, he uses evidence and fact to back up his points, and overall to make his objectors' claims seem unjustified. And that's what his real goal is. He wants to avoid any more conflict with the government, and he wants people to understand and also support Washington's ideas. If not, there could be revolt, and this is something that the government cannot handle at the time. Overall, this debate and this essay carries more historical significance than one would believe. In this essay, his overall goal is to just eradicate any type of confusion or misleading information about the Proclamation of Neutrality that would cause them to believe that it was unconstitutional and without authority. And his outstanding rhetoric, evidence, and support all contribute to this case and ultimate support of Washington. In the result, although the two debaters had two very different conclusions, Hamilton succeeded in giving Americans a better understanding of the role of the executive branch and the newly formed government. In the long run, it truly shows how the Constitution can be interpreted in endless ways, and it truly shows that its historical significance is limitless.